We're back. Smokey agreed to help me do a book haul today. She's super happy. She greeted me at the door when I got home from the library. Aren't you, baby? You were waiting for Mama to come home. Yeah. That's my pretty baby. Okay. Oh my goodness. I have a huge book haul. I don't know what I'm going to do because I didn't have any DNFs last week. And so I still have a good stack left to read from last week. But I got all except one of my 14-day books read. So that's good. But I've got a whole lot of 14-day books here. So let's dive into it. I'm super excited. I've been waiting a long time for this. I read the first one in this series. So I'm hoping, have any of you read the first one and then read this one afterwards? Like, do you think I'll be able to jump right into this? It's probably been at least a year since I read the first one. So I'm hoping I can jump into it. The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. It's book 2 in that series. It's hard to find an employer who doesn't ask too many questions about my past. So I thank my lucky stars that the Garricks gave me a job cleaning their penthouse and preparing meals in their shiny kitchen. It's almost perfect. But I still haven't met Mrs. Garrick or seen inside the guest room. I'm sure I hear her crying. One day I can't help but knock on the door. When it gently swings open, what I see inside changes everything. That's when I make a promise. After all, I've done this before. I can protect Mrs. Garrick while keeping my own secrets locked up safe. It's simply a question of how far I'm willing to go. I can't wait. Okay, then The French Honeymoon. Sometimes Paris is a terrible idea. Lucy Foley meets Frida McFadden in this utterly addictive, binge-worthy thriller. May Cobb, author of The Hunting Wives. So that sounds interesting. And Sophia, oh boy, how do you pronounce that last name? It must be a French name, maybe. I am not even going to attempt to say that because I will probably not do a good job. So I don't know how you say that. This is not how she imagined it, any of it. Taylor Quinn arrives at her honeymoon suite in the city of light alone, sans suitcase, but with wads of stolen cash. When she catches a glimpse of newlyweds Cassie and Oliver enjoying their happily ever after, she can't tear her eyes away. And Cassie makes their antics easy to follow as she reveals every detail of their picture-perfect trip on social media. Taylor's obsession builds as she tracks their every move. This was the kind of life she was supposed to be living. This was the honeymoon she dreamed of. The illusion is shattered when she overhears a heated argument between Cassie and Oliver, which reveals that they're not the love-struck couple they pretend to be. But Cassie and Oliver have agendas of their own, and Taylor can't see the danger in getting in the middle of this until it's too late. And now no one will get out of Paris unscathed. Sounds very good. Okay, this also, I love the cover of this. This is not a game. Kelly Mullen. I've never read anything by her, so we'll see. Two Unlikely Detectives. A Cocktail of Suspects. Widow Mimi lives on idyllic Mackinac Island, where cars are not allowed, and a Gibson martini with 3 onions at the witching hour is compulsory. Her estranged what is the matter with me? Granddaughter. I couldn't get that out. Addie is getting over the heartbreak of not only being dumped by her fiance Brian, but also being cut out of the deal for the brilliantly successful video game Livescape they invented together, with Addie doing most of the heavy lifting. When Mimi gets an invitation from local socialite Jane Ireland, a 70-something narcissist who's having a salacious affair with her son-in-law, Smokey's clawing the back of my chair, in case you wonder what that noise is. Once they arrive, a big storm rolls in. I lost my place here. Where was I? Who's having a salacious affair with her son-in-law? Oh, I definitely didn't read that yet. I would have remembered that. A 70-something narcissist who's having a salacious affair with her son-in-law. To a charity auction, she invites Addie. But Mimi doesn't tell her that a blackmail threat from Jane looms over the party's invitation. Once they arrive, a big storm rolls in, trapping everyone in the mansion, and then Jane is unalived. Soon, Mimi and Addie's strained relationship is put to the test when they must team up to narrow down the suspects. Ooh, that sounds juicy. Okay, and then we have Ashley Flowers, The Missing Half. I put it on hold in large print so I could get my hands on a copy faster since this is a new book. Nicole Monroe is in a rut. At 24, she lives alone in a dinky apartment in her hometown of Mishawaka, Indiana. I probably didn't pronounce that right. She's just gotten a DWI and she's been working the same dead-end job since high school, a job she has only because her boss is a family friend and feels sorry for her. Everyone has felt sorry for her for the last 7 years, since the day her older sister Casey vanished without a trace. On the night Casey went missing, her car was found over 100 miles from home. The driver's door was open and her purse was untouched in the seat next to it. The only real clue to her disappearance was Jules Connor, another young woman from the same area who disappeared in the same way 2 weeks earlier. But with so little for the police to go on, both cases eventually went cold. Nick wants nothing more than to move on from her sister's disappearance and the state it's left her in. But then one day, Jules' sister Jenna Connor walks into Nick's life and offers her something she hasn't felt in a long time: hope. What follows is a gripping tale of two sisters who will do anything to find their missing halves, even if it means destroying everything they've ever known. Then I don't often read romance, but you'll see why I was attracted to this one. Look at the bullseye target on the cover. That looks interesting. And it's labeled as a mystery. It's not labeled as a romance. So while it does say The Matchmaker, it looks like it could be kind of interesting. Business has never been better for Nura Khan, a third-generation matchmaker in Atlanta. Her exclusive clientele benefits from her impeccable track record. And while a single 31-year-old matchmaker would normally raise some perfectly threaded eyebrows in the community, Nura's childhood best friend, Azar, is willing to double as her pretend fiance at her clients' weddings, even though Nura's feelings for him might not be so pretend. But all that glitters isn't gold. While it's not uncommon to get occasional hate mail from rejected prospective clients, Nura is blindsided when a couple's carefully constructed wedding implodes, the first in a cascading chain of suspicious and increasingly terrifying events. Someone is taking things too far, and with Azar and her matchmaking team by her side, Nura embarks on a dangerous cat and mouse game that threatens not only her safety, but everything she's worked so hard to build. So I thought that sounded pretty interesting. This one really sounded good to me, and I've been waiting for this for a little while. I put it on hold. The Guilt Pill by Sumaya Dave. Maya Patel has it all. Her own startup, a sexy, doting husband, influencer status, and now a new baby. But behind closed doors, Maya's drowning. Her newborn has taken a toll on her marriage. Her best friend won't return her calls, and her company is hanging on by a thread. The worst part, it's all her fault. If she could just be a better boss, mother, wife, daughter, friend, maybe she wouldn't feel so guilty all the time. Enter #girlboss Liz Anderson, who introduces her to the Guilt Pill, an experimental supplement that erases female guilt. It's the perfect antidote to Maya's self-blame and imposter syndrome, and she can finally become the woman she's always wanted to be. There's just one catch. For Maya to truly have it all, she has to be willing to risk it all. And as Maya falls deeper and deeper down the pill's guilt-free rabbit hole, her growing ruthlessness could threaten everything she's built for herself and the family she's worked so hard to protect. Electric, taut, and sharply observed, The Guilt Pill is a feminist exploration of motherhood, race, ambition, and how the world treats women who dare to go after everything they want. Doesn't that sound fantastic? And then I'm going to try this book. This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. I know there's a little bit of controversy on it, but I'm getting FOMO. I have to read it. because I see so many people talking about it. After the unexpected death of her father, college student Jane Sharp longs for a distraction from her grief. She becomes obsessed with the morbid world of true crime, befriending armchair detectives who teach her how to hunt down unalivers from afar. In this dark internet underground, Jane finds friendship, purpose, and even glory. There goes Smokey. She got done eating, and now she's back up on the bed. So when the shocking deaths of 3 college students in Delphine, Idaho, capture the world's imagination, Jane and her friends are determined to beat everyone racing to solve the case. But the deaths turn out to be stranger than anyone expected. Details don't add up. The police are cagey, and there seems to be more media hype and internet theorizing than actual evidence. When Jane and her sleuths get closer, every answer only begs new questions. They begin to suspect that the unaliver may be smarter and more prolific than any they've faced before. Placing themselves in the center of the story starts to feel more and more like walking into a trap. So, and then this sounded so good and right up my alley. I could not resist. My Darlings by Maria Steele. No one was supposed to know. I've always been so careful. My darlings, how did we get here? Evil lurks behind the perfectly manicured lawns, ornate iron gates, and long winding driveways of affluent D.C. But not for long. Stay-at-home mom Eloise Williams is PTO president and a respected local philanthropist who sits on the boards of many distinguished charities. In addition to being a doting wife and mother, she is also, get ready, brace yourselves, a serial unaliver. You know we love our unhinged female characters, but Eloise isn't the only lady of society playing a part. As the hidden lives of Eloise's inner circle are exposed, the body count rises. When an old friend returns, Eloise desperately clings to remain in control. Money and power can only buy influence and safety for so long. Eventually the curtains lift, exposing the chilling reality in plain sight. That sounds absolutely thrilling. I hope it does not disappoint. And then this one, it says it is the true story of a real fake. Catch Me If You Can. Frank W. Baganale, maybe? It says now a major motion picture starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. I ran across this and I thought it sounded interesting. Frank Baganale, I guess, alias Frank Williams, Robert Conrad, Frank Adams, and Robert Monjo, was one of the most daring con men, forgers, imposters, and escape artists in history. During his brief but notorious criminal career, he donned a pilot's uniform and co-piloted a Pan Am jet, masqueraded as the supervising resident of a hospital, practiced law without a license, passed himself off as a college sociology professor, and cashed over $2.5 million in forged checks, all before he was 21. A hilarious, stranger-than-fiction account of his sumptuous life on the lam, international escapades, and ingenious escapes. Catch Me If You Can is a captivating tale of deceit. I couldn't resist that. I have got to read that. I mean, seriously. I've been on the hold list waiting for this for a long time. Number one, I love the cover. And the plot sounded fantastic. When She Was Me by Marley Bush. I hope it doesn't let me down since I've waited so long for it. Ever since that night, twin sisters Cassie and Lenora have been inseparable. As the sole permanent residents of Cabin 2, their refuge on an isolated Tennessee campground, they manage to stay away from prying eyes, probing questions, and true crime junkies. Just the two of them, Cassie and Lenora, against the world. The peace and quiet is almost enough to make them forget what happened all those years ago. Almost. Until a teenage girl camping at the neighboring cabin goes missing and the memories come rushing back. As the crime becomes ever more recognizable, they know better than anyone the so-called happy families can be anything but. Each sister suspects the other knows more than she's letting on. Trapped in the isolating, claustrophobic wilderness, Cassie and Lenora must piece together the truth of what happened and the sinister truth lurking in their own pasts before it's too late. Doesn't that sound good? Oh my goodness. So good. And then my bestie Renee from over at Beyond Books recommended this one to me. I had asked for some LGBTQ romance for the month of June, and she recommended this. As soon as I read the plot, I was like, that does sound good. I'm going to check that out. It's a fast-paced, hilarious, and ultimately hopeful novel for anyone who has ever worried they might be a terrible person. Enid is obsessed with space. She can tell you all about black holes and their ability to spaghettify you without batting an eye in fear. Her one major phobia, bald men. But she tries to keep that one under wraps. When she's not listening to her favorite true crime podcasts on a loop, she's going out with a rotation of women from dating apps. At the same time, she's trying to forge a new relationship with her estranged half-sisters after the death of her absent father. When she unwittingly plunges into her first serious romantic entanglement, Enid starts to believe that someone is following her. As her paranoia spirals out of control, she must contend with her mounting suspicion that something is seriously wrong with her. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person she can't outrun: herself. Brimming with quirky humor, I love that, charm and heart, interesting facts about space, effortlessly shows us the power of revealing our secret shames, the most beautifully human parts of us all. So I thought that sounded super good. All right, that's my haul. I have so much to read now. And I'm so excited. There's nothing I love better than coming home from the library with a huge book haul. It's such a good feeling. Alrighty, let me know if any of these sound interesting to you, or if you've read any of them, what you thought about them, and I will see you all next time. Bye!